What teams should make a change headed into RLCS 2026? That's the question that we are going to answer today. Right now we're watching Carmine Corp versus Team Falcons in the semifinals, but we're going to talk about the winners of the World Championships first, and that is NRG, baby. We're not going to spend too much time on them because obviously they should not make a change. They were dominant in 2024 and then they win the World Championships in 2025. There's not really anyone in North America that you can replace for Daniel, Beast Mode, or Atomic. That would make this team better. It's just really not possible because their chemistry is pretty much unmatched in North America. So let's just move on to the next team because that one's easy. Next up, Team Falcons. They're on the pitch right now. It's TRK, Kaliers, and Rawas. For them, I put no, they should not make a change. My reasoning for that, similar to NRG, their chemistry is pretty unmatched. They are all on the same page all the time. They play fast, but never too fast for each other, if that makes sense. Now, this is a little awkward because guess what? Team Falcons, they made a change already for a player named Drali coming from Carmine Corp. And for Carmine Corp, I put no, but they didn't really have a say in the matter because Drali became a free agent and he decided to go to Team Falcons, which is insane to me. That oil money is really, really winning out here. But again, similar, my reasoning with Carmine Corp for not changing would be what players are you gonna replace for Drali, Atau, and Vatira that is gonna make the team better? Maybe Zen, but even then I have my doubts. I don't know. It's pretty insane at all that there's a change made for Carmine Corp. But we'll move on to the next team. That is GK Esports. For them, I put yes. I think you have to at this point, simply because it's been so inconsistent of a season for them. They barely made Birmingham Major, I believe. The miracle run for the Birmingham Major. Raleigh Major, they missed out on to Gentlemates. And then they make top 2 at EWC, and then they make top 4 at Worlds. Like, what is happening? Now, who do you change? I don't know. I think most likely it will be Oli because Joyo and Archie obviously love being a duo. Now, do I think it should be Oli? No, I think Oli was honestly one of the best players on this team for a lot of the season. He was one of the more consistent ones in my opinion. But I think that's just how it's going to work out simply because of the duo of Joyo Archie, right? Next team, though, is the Ultimates. For them, I think obviously yes. They're kind of similar to GK in a way of highs and lows. Not in the ways of missing majors and making them, but just in like beating Carmine Corp on day 1 of an event and then getting swept by them the next day. They're just not consistently beating the best of the best, if that makes sense. And they have too many lows. Now, where do they all go? It is rumored right now or reported by Shift that they are disbanding, which makes sense. Where do they go? I don't know. There's obviously some crazy rumors of where First Killer is going, but Chronic and LJ, we'll talk more about them later probably. Next team, though, Team Wildcard OCE. This one was weird because they had a horrible season, and then Worlds comes around and they make top 6 and they look competitive the whole time. They look like they can make a top 4. They played GK and Falcons really close. So it was weird. I don't know. But for them, I put no, don't make a change because obviously whatever they were doing before wasn't working and what they're doing now is working. And so if they keep that up, they can look competitive again next season. And so for them, don't make a change. Maybe you can put Super Locky in there. I don't know. But I don't think it's worth trying it out because obviously they're dominant in their region and they're competitive, or they can be competitive on LAN. But next team, NIP, Ninjas in Pajamas. This is Radosin, Oski, and Nas. It took Radosin joining this team to have Oski and Nas work out as a duo. So for them, I put no, don't make a change because, again, it's working now, just barely. And normally people make a roster change because then it motivates you to play a little better. But this is a recent change for this team. So I think they can just get better and better. And I think Radosin is pretty underrated. I hope they keep him. Right now it's reported that Radosin is not going to be part of this team and that Oski and Nas are going to be picked up by Gentlemates. Now who their third is, I don't know. Potentially Eugen. That could be interesting. Let me know your thoughts about that trio in the comments below. But next team, Space Station Gaming. That's Kofer, Scribbles, and Reveal. For them, I put no, don't make a change. Obviously, that's impossible because Scribbles retired at 15 years old. I don't know what's going on with his esport. That kind of sucks because he was a great NA prospect. But if they did have a choice in the matter, again, no, don't make a change because quite simply, they started getting better and better throughout the season. They started getting more consistent. They found their footing on LAN. They obviously are 3 confident young guns who have a lot to learn. And they made a top 8 at Worlds, and I think they can go further. Obviously, they're not going to be able to do that because Scribbles is now gone. Who do they put in place of him? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that below. Next team, though, is going to be Team Dignitas. For them, it might surprise a few of you. I'm going to put no, don't make a change. Why? Because Jorius, apparently Jack, and Stizzy got better and better throughout the whole season. Now, obviously, they didn't end Worlds very well, and they unfortunately don't match up with GK very well. But literally every other team besides Falcons, they played well against. They just didn't play well against Falcons and GK, which is why they made a grand final at Rally, because they could beat every other team. They actually had a good record against KC even. So for them, I say don't make a change because they got better and better. And there's no rumors on them yet. I think they could stick together. I hope they do. Could be interesting. Next team on the list, though, is Team Furia. For them, I think it's pretty obvious. It's going to be, yes, make a change. I don't think it looks like Yan, Trefino, and Lost want to play together anymore. On the pitch, they just look disconjointed. They don't look like they want to be there, basically. It's kind of hard or difficult to explain, but it doesn't look good. Furia kind of washed. They kind of picked it up at the end of Worlds, but they're playing Karma Corp, who is just a better team anyway. So even if Furia is playing well, they're just not going to win that. But on to the next team is the other Sam team who kind of took the Sam Keen's title towards the end of the season, and that is Team Secret. That is KV1, Mata, and Swift. This one I put no, don't make a change. Why? Because quite simply they started to become, the Keens of Sam. They lost 5 of the regionals to Furia, but then outplaced Furia at 3 lands in a row. I think, 2 lands and tied it at Worlds. And so I'd say Team Secret has been better towards the end of the season than Team Furia, which is interesting because they lost a lot of regionals. But for them, no, because they're playing super well. Now, is that going to happen? I don't think so. I think they will make a change because if Yan is moving around, or maybe Swift is headed to Furia with Yan, I don't know. That seems likely to me. But if I was them, I wouldn't make a change. Next team, though, we're going to talk about a team that super underperformed, and that is Team Vitality. For them, obviously, yes, they need to make a change. At some points, Zen was absolutely just carrying this team to any win that they had. This is a team that we expected to be able to win something this season, and then they never did, which is insane. And a team with Monkey Moon, Exotic, and Zen should be winning something. And obviously they didn't, so they need to make a change. There's not much else I can say about this team. But we're going to get into the next replay of the finals of NRG versus Team Falcons before we talk about the next team, that is Virtus Pro. All right, we're into the next replay of NRG versus Team Falcons for the World Championship title. But we were talking about Virtus Pro. This is the only APAC team that goes to Lance. And for them, if they had a choice, again, if they had a choice, I would say no. Because throughout the season, well, they did really well. This is probably the best APAC, not probably, it is the best APAC has ever performed internationally. They went 2-3 in Swiss at Birmingham, 1-3 at Raleigh. They didn't have a good EWC, but then at Worlds, they do make top 16, beating like Shopify Rebellion and I want to say MIBR, which is Sam number 3. So for them, I wish they didn't have to make a change. Obviously, now with the 2/3 rule, you do have to make a change because it was Catalysm and Sosa who are both NA players. And so if they had a choice, don't make a change. But I don't hate that they have to because obviously I'm a fan of the 2/3 rule. But not too much to say about Virtus Pro. Let's head on to Rock Esports. For them, I don't know a whole lot about them. Disclaimer there. But for them, I put no because they made top 16 in the world, being Mina number 3. And there's not much. There's a lot of talent in Mina, but there's not much better talent than Nupo, the Twins, and TRK, and then Team Rock. Obviously, maybe they'll mix and match with like Alcacia, which has, a few really mechy players on there. But for now, I'd say no because they pretty handily beat Alcacia in the last chance qualifier. And so I say no. But obviously, I think a lot of these teams are going to change. But on to the next team. This is North America number 4, Gen G Mobile 1 Racing. I hear rumors that they are not changing. This is Justin, Magic Bear, and Cheese. But I hope that they do change because I just don't think they can bring it to the next level with the team that they have right now. They have a good system going. They have a good game plan, but they don't have the players for it, if that makes sense. I think they can make an upgrade if First Killer, Chronic, and LJ are on the market, which they are. And potentially a few other players in the mix as well that I think are good in North America. So I hope they make a change. I would like to see a change, but I don't think they will. Up next, though, is Mina number 2, Twisted Minds. They have to make a change, and I think that's good. I think they should. The 2/3 rule makes it so that Nupo has to have another Mina player on the team, and I think that's good because they really had one really good event, I should say, and that was Rally, where they make top 6, reverse sweeping Carmine Corp. I think Nupo is really, really good and needs more consistency out of his teammates. Now, that's not to say that Nupo was a problem because he wasn't, or that his teammates were the problem, because they weren't. Nupo had his problems at times as well. But I think in the end, he needs players who play more similar to him, who play faster. And so I think if TRK, who obviously just left Falcons, if he joins, I think that'll be better for him and honestly better for the esport too, because I love the 2/3 rule. Did I say that already? But on to the next team. This is Sam number 3, MIBR. This is Raisable, Drops, and Brad. Yes, I think they need to make a change. Maybe not need, but I think it might be a little beneficial. At least it wouldn't hurt if they just replace one, maybe Drops. A little unsure here. I don't know them as well, but that's just my quick thoughts on them. I think they could add a player or two, or maybe Raiseball heads to play with Swift or something. I don't know. Could be fun. Now, another play-in team at Worlds. This was Shopify Rebellion. For them, it was kind of difficult, honestly. I was unsure if they should make a change, but I landed on yes, but I'm not completely convinced on that one. I think that it would be beneficial to replace 2-piece with maybe like, I want to say 5-up, Evo, someone more consistent, maybe more mechy, maybe with a better mentality. Unsure here, heavily unsure. Two Piece is a good player. But well, I don't know. I think there is some players in North America that are better than Two Piece, and I am really high on 5-Up, and I want him to be on a good org. I really believe in him. But on to the last two teams here. We're going to talk about Fu Esports. Yes, they have to. I mean, there's a 2/3 rule. They can't play in SSA anymore together. One of them could stay, but I doubt that'll even happen. I mean, I don't even really want to talk about them. I'm just glad that the 2/3 rule is here so that we can get rid of them. On to the last team, though, TSM. This is OCE number 2. And yes, I mean, this team had one good regional that sent them to EWC and Rally, EWC, and Worlds. But all the international events did not go well. They did not play good. It was just not interesting at all. It was not a fight. So they need to make a change. But that's all my thoughts on the on teams making a change here as we zoom out on the ending of NRG winning Game 1 versus Falcons of the World Championships. What do you guys think? Is there any teams that I said yes that you think shouldn't make a change, or vice versa? This is definitely an interesting offseason already. It's been a week and there's been insanity around. If you want to keep up to date, subscribe. I do shorts often to keep you up to date on roster mania, as well as multiple long-form videos, trying to keep you up to date and having fun like this. This one was really not scripted. I just put yes or no for each team, and just kind of spurted my thoughts there. Spurted, I don't even know if that's a word, but I just talked in this one. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you think I should do more videos like this, then like and subscribe and tell me so in the comments. I don't do these ones as often. Maybe I should be doing them more often. But I will see all of y'all in my next video.